And we're back. So yeah, I farmed everything in this area 10 times. And the reason is just because it gives you a fuck ton of souls. There's really no other reason. It helps out significantly with everything that you want to do right away, and that's all I could care about. Because the beauty of a Dark Souls game is that you can make the game as hard as you want it to be, or as easy as you want it to be. So now I already have +6, I have a fuck ton of souls, and I can do whatever I want. So now we can just go back, we can level up, but obviously you guys are probably going to be upset that I farmed so much souls so early and all that other stuff, and I completely understand that. So most of this is just going to be dumped into ADP, as well as some other bullshit. So don't feel super pressed that I just spent all those souls on nothing. So we'll bump this to 20. We'll bump up my equip load to 15. That'll be good. So now the game's not going to be super trivialized because I bumped up my damage super high to just kind of break the game. I'm just giving myself the bare minimum to have my eye rolls back, because ADPs contributed to your eye rolls, and it is such a stupid thing that it is built that way, but it is that way, and there's nothing you can do about it, at least in Dark Souls 2, except to level it up. So that's what we did. So now we're just gonna go forth and take care of the boss in this area. We're gonna fight him like a true player. We're not gonna do any of the cheese, such as the arrows or making sure he just jumps off the side. And yeah. Whatever makes it go up faster, you know? Hello.
Are you from these parts?
No.
My
God,
name is Lizzie.
all the shit. So, this bitch is rude and evil. Nobody likes her. I don't like anything about her, and I hate magic. So
No need. The gods.
I never fuck with any of this stuff. But I will move her from this location by just talking to her.
Just that.
But yeah, as you can tell from just that small interaction, she's probably not as nice as she tends to think she is. And she can be a real bitch. We'll eventually take care of her because of lore-related reasons. Here's the item that is under the stairs. I knew it was one of the Dark Souls games. One of these spiral stairs had an item under it. Forgot it was 2. Next, we move into our next area here, which involves just a lot of killings. A lot of good items. Oddly enough, that halberd was also the first thing that I ever used in the my first Dark Souls 2 playthrough ever. I thought that halberd was so cool. I thought these knights were like the coolest thing ever, and I like basically worshipped the fucking ground they walked on. And I thought, like, oh my god, if only I could be like them and have that items. And I farmed them so hard that I had the whole set and the halberd, and I could not use it together, obviously, because it was such a heavy item set, right? Like, that was my whole thing with it. Oh my god, they're so cool. And I farmed it. got their whole set, used that halberd. I was fat rolling for the longest fucking time. Was it worth it? Fuck no. Would I do it again? Hell yeah. That's, again, the beauty of Dark Souls 2. Is you can do whatever you want. There's no real downside to how you can play this game, because the game is like the most forgiving of the Dark Souls, and it's the most noob-friendly. So if you're ever really curious about getting into a Dark Souls game, I highly recommend 2. Just be aware that this is not everybody's favorite game, and your chances of finding people who actually want to help are going to be significantly lower than on the other Dark Souls games, especially on 3. Like, 3 has seemed to have been, like, everybody's favorite. Also, I wonder if I could do this. I want to showcase this real quick. Alright, so my friend Classy said that those big things were the eyes of this creature, and it's not. You see, the basilisk has fake eyes, the big eyes, to make it look intimidating. But as you can see, those little white dots on the sides, those are its real eyes. And then it has the little nostrils in front, and then it has its teeth. And the whole point is to make you think that it's some big, weird frog creature, so that way when you get turned to stone like basilisks do, you guys, like, freak out, and it's just like, oh my god, what the fuck? And it's supposed to catch you off guard the first time that you ever run into them. And it teaches you later on for the other Dark Souls and other iterations of game from there on after. Alright, so we're gonna go back to Majula, we're gonna get a couple more levels. This time, we will be leveling up actual stuff. Things that actually matter, like our decks. We get a couple more points into our decks. And then we burn Sublime Bone Dust. And then this gives us our upgraded Estus Flask, which gives us more healing. Alright, so now that we're through that area, we can pop some stuff. Not that it really matters, because we're from here on out probably not going to die. Some parts are going to be really ridiculous here in the wharf, and I'm not surprised at that at all, because it is the fucking wharf. And the only way to get through this area effectively is with a torch, some lights, a lot of careful placements of how you do things. So it's going to be a lot of turning the torch on and off just so that way I don't waste my torch, even though by the time I usually get to the gulch, I think that's what it's called, I don't need as many torches as I have, because I usually have about 4 hours worth of torch. I ran into that. They also have summon signs, like, everywhere. So the little white ones are... the little white ones are for a limited time, whereas the large white ones are until you beat the boss, which was the only time that it was ever introduced, and it was not introduced again in either Dark Souls 3 or in Elden Ring, which I thought was interesting, because I actually thought it was kind of a nice little addition. It basically just says, I have time to help you, I'm just not committed to helping you kill the boss. So it was kind of like, I'll help you get through the area so you can fight the boss and feel good about beating the boss on your own, but I'll help you, you know, get your shortcuts, show you where some items are, help you kill some enemies so that way I can get some bonus items for helping you, some extra souls. I don't know, I just really wished it was kept in the game. It's really a shame that it wasn't.
This is for you.
And then she reveals her face, and she's like a little Frankenstein.
I'm sorry.
She's one of my favorite characters that eventually just continues to develop throughout the rest of the game. She's up there with Solaire, in my opinion, of really well-designed characters. Those oil jar lamps can be a real pain in the ass too. Don't do it correctly, you can get murdered incredibly quickly. There's our boy Goblin. Goblin wheel, Goblin wheel. One of the rare times that I actually need to use a repair powder. Because I don't want my weapon to break before I get through this area. Because this area is doo-doo. It's also those guys that make this area absolute dog shit too. That makes me hate this area. So many heavy boots. Right, if I remember correctly, I need to... It's not this one. Okay, I think it's the one next to it. I think this is the one that I gotta roll out of the way. Yep. Not for the reason I thought it was, though. I thought it was because I had the crossbow bolt in there that just ruined your day. And that calls the boat in. What the fuck is you? I mean, I quote, who asked? What the fuck was that? Alright, so this is Goblin. Goblin win. Goblin deal.
Who are you?
So he's the guy you can sell shit to. And also buy a bunch of poison stuff from. You can also sell items that you don't need. Like this broken straight sword. Or one of your 2,000 copies of a certain weapon. So this guy, he's a dick. He won't like us because we don't have at least an intelligence of 8, so he gets really upset. Nothing we really can do about it. He's just gonna be a grumpy old shit. So the last thing we need to do is just light up the rest of these torches and then get aboard this boat and fight the boss. Alright, so even though this is technically an early game boss, this is still one of my favorite bosses in Dark Souls 2. Mainly because the arena changes the longer it goes on. Since we're on a boat, and the way that boats worked in the old days is the bottom would slowly fill up with water. And the longer that you fight this boss, the more water that fills up, and eventually you'll be up to about waist high in the water, meaning you'll have like the most impede movement when fighting that boss. Unfortunately, for a lot of new players, they somehow stumble across this fight, and then they take too long, they try to poke it down or whatever, and it really fucks them up. And it really makes it difficult for them to actually proceed with the boss. And then we skipped the entirety of Flexile Seals because I fucking hate Flexile Seals. They're the worst. They're the 3 women that I would never want in my life. And I'm pretty sure all of them are women. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure all 3 are indeed women. Okay, so before we continue forward, there's actually an item that we can get. And I don't remember if it's good or not. By doing this. Oh, it's just skim and turn to repair powder. Well, at least the repair powder is good. Can't say much for literally anything else, though. And now our 10-hour ride back up. That is such a detailed nipple. Every game that I've been playing recently just has really detailed nipples for no good reason. Ow. Alright. If we take the ladder. Oh, okay, he fucked off. I forgot, he comes here, like, all the time. He's just real mad that we beat him. Like, one time, and he can't get over it. So now we have access to our other bonfire. And I forgot about those guys. Those guys explode. Thankfully, he didn't have any yellow dust in him. The yellow dust essentially just breaks all your shit. Which, later on, we also come across an enemy area layout that, really rude with it. Knock that in. We get the Wanderer Hood. Sadly, I think of those guys always respawn, so that is going to always suck ass. Alright, let's light this up. Just so that we can light this. I don't think there's a special enemy sitting in here. That is only seen by light, so I'm gonna shut this out. Slugstone. Boop. Then if I recall correctly, soul vessels are used for restatting your character in case you just don't like your build anymore. There's the good old get good dagger. The twin blades, for those who want to just slice and dice. Back down. We're still exploring. And then I believe that is a bonfire aesthetic on that body. So I'm not going to bother getting it, because I'm not going to bonfire aesthetic anything. Not for any real reason other than it just kind of goes back to what I did with the Hide Knights. Just kind of ruins the good feel and authenticity of the playthrough if I just use the most OP thing and just kind of bust through and break through and, you know, just goof off. Because I could just 100% go back through the Hide Knights and just keep bonfire aestheticing that, even though I haven't killed the dragon there yet, or killed Ornstein 2.0, or 1.3, whatever version of Ornstein that he is. And this drops me out here. Okay. So we'll actually go up through that chain link thing. And go out that way. So yeah, you see these glowing guys? These guys are the worst. They're the ones that can explode your shit and ruin your day. So to avoid going all the way around through all that bullshit, we're just gonna use our fragment branch here on this guy and then get this bonfire. And then, I can see Boop really liking this guy.